are doing well this morning, and if you're watching online, hello to you. And I hope it's still okay for me to say Happy New Year, right? I promise I'll stop by the end of January. Is that okay? So I have one more Sunday to tell you Happy New Year. But hey, to start off the new year as a church, I thought it would be a great idea for us to have a series called Fresh Start. Because we said that there's something nice about a new beginning, a new start, fresh start, right? This is why, as we go into the new year, a lot of people make this thing called New Year's resolution. Any of you make New Year's resolution? Any of you break your New Year's resolution already? A couple of you guys, right? Hey, I saw one of the poll that survey that my friend Joe showed. For 2020, for the very first time in a long time, that losing weight is actually not on the top of the New Year's resolution for people. I think, do I have a poll? Do I have the picture there? No? The graphic? No? Okay. Well, anyway, they said that in 2020, the number one list on the top is they want to manage their money better. And then the close second is actually they want to eat healthier. But so it's still there's a diet related New Year's resolution, right? So now speaking of New Year's resolution and diet and eating healthy and losing weight, I found this article. And this article is talking about us, American. We would love our food to be fast and cheap, but at the same time we want it to be fresh and healthy. Right? Don't you think that's just too much to ask, right? That's just too much to ask, isn't it? And if you don't get what you want, as a result, you getting all kind of weird lawsuit. For example, right, there's this lady suing Godiva chocolate for $5 million. Because at the label it says Belgium 1926. And she found out that this chocolate was made in Reading, Pennsylvania. Right? So she's very upset. And how many of you have eaten this snack right here? The potato skin snack, right? There's a lady suing Fridays for $5 million because they feel like, oh, this is not made of potatoes, a real potato skin, right? It's not as healthy as the one in the restaurant. I was just thinking, if you're upset, here's $4 back, right? Instead of $5 million. Come on, man, right? There's someone suing Poland spring water because they feel like they are being fooled. This water actually doesn't come from spring. It comes from a wells, right? And I have a bad news for this guy. It doesn't come from Poland either, right? Now, nobody say anything about this one company, though. I don't want to give you ideas, but I just want to tell you this, right? No one say anything about this smart water. I don't know about you. I think we should demand to see the diploma of this thing right here, right? I hope this guy went to MIT or Harvard or something, right? What is the right for him to be called smart water? So anyway, so we've been talking about how we can make this year to be better than last year or previous years. Now, any of you here last week? Any of you here last week, right? Did my friend Joe did a good job? Yeah? All right. See? What he was talking about that as we make a New Year's resolution, why there are so many people failed in terms of making New Year's resolution. He gave us 3 reasons. The first one is we focus on the what, but we don't understand the why. In other words, we want to lose weight. This is what we want to happen, but we don't think about the steps to get there. We don't think about the system to get there. And then the second one, we don't see the progress fast enough. I think it's the screen after this screen, Nadia. You can just follow along if you don't mind. There you go. We don't see the progress fast enough, right? When we don't see result, we quit, we give up, right? And then the third one that he was talking about, that our distorted identities sabotage our success. Meaning that if we don't know who we are, we don't know what to do. But if we know who we are, the children of God, we are highly favored, then we know what to do. Our action will follow. Right? So today, for part 3 of our Fresh Start series, how we can make this year to be better than last year, we're going to be talking about decision making. Making decision. Every single day, we make lots of decision. Now, do you know that every time you and me make decision, we always go through that decision through a filter. I'll explain to you in just one moment, but I'm hoping that the one question that I want to give you, this is such a powerful question. And I learned about this question many, many years ago. And it's been very, very helpful to you. And today I want to share it with you. Now, again, do you know, as you make decision, you always go through that decision, that question, through this one filter. I don't know what that filter is for you. For some people, they have what they call happiness filter. Every time you make a decision, whether you realize it or not, some people make it trying to decide their decision through happiness filter. In other words, if I do that, if I go to that place, is this going to make me happy? Right? Happiness filter. Now, do you know, and I'm pretty sure you know this, right? There are things that you think that if you do or if you go to that, it's going to make you happy, but later on, you regret it. Because every decision that we do, some people, they go through, they make it through the happiness filter. Another filter that I have there is follow my heart filter, right? As you try to make decision, you are confused whether I should do this or not, right? Maybe you ask suggestion, you ask your friend for suggestion, and you know what they said? Follow your heart, right? But here's the problem. The Bible actually teaches that our heart, human heart, your heart and my heart, are deceitful above all things. You know what it means? That means that your heart and my heart are the best salesmen in the world. There are things that we know we're not supposed to do, but our heart try to justify something, try to sell us something. And as a result, we say, everybody's doing it. Nobody's perfect. Right? Follow my heart purely. And then, another filter that I have here is what I call what others says filter. What would others say filter? How many times you heard your parents say this? Don't do that. If people find out, what would they say about our family? Right? We make decision based on what other people say. But I have a better filter today. I have a better question for you to ask as you try to make a decision. Again, whether you realize it or not, whether I realize it or not, we have a filter before we make a decision that we go through before we make a decision. And that one question, and that powerful question that has been a big help for me in the past several years is this one question right here. What is the wise thing for me to do? What is the wise thing for me to do? Now, I purposely put for me to do, right? Because the temptation is, as we talk about this is what you're going to do. We're thinking about somebody else. Well, I wish so-and-so are here. I wish my parents are here. I wish my boyfriend are here. I wish my girlfriend are here, right? No. Don't worry about them, right? Let's look at ourselves first today. What is the wise thing to do? This one question has the potential to transform your life and to transform my life. Has the potential to transform our relationship, our marriage, our finances, our health, the pace of life, your schedule. This one question will give you clarity in terms of you are faced with many different options. Which one that I should go to? Which one option that I should pick? This one question will give you clarity. As you know, life is complex, right? Life is complicated. But this one question will help you, will reduce the complexity of life. It will save you a lot of time. It will save you a lot of money. It will save you a lot of tears. You will have less regret in your life. And at the end, you probably wouldn't have to apologize as much as the end. This one question is so powerful. This is the question that answers just about everything. Let me prove it to you if you don't believe me. This is where I get the question from. Some of you guys heard the name Apostle Paul, right? He wasn't a Christian, and then in one day, he became a Jesus follower. And after he became a Jesus follower, he goes all over the place. What he did was he go to a city, he go to a place, and he started a church, trained the people to be a leader. And then after that, he will move to another place, start a church, train a leader. That's what he did. Now, at this thing that we're about to read here, he was writing a letter to the church and to the Christian who live in the city of Ephesus. Ephesus in today's world would be one of the region of the country Turkey. Now, here's what I'm about to show you, and this is where we get this question from. What is the wise thing for me to do? I want you to check out the screen here as I show you. It says here, be very careful then how you live. Be very careful then how you live. In other translation is how you walk. You know, when you go to the park and you know there's a lot of dogs playing on that park, you're going to be very careful when you walk, right? Because you don't want to step on something that you don't want to step on, right? This is the same thing. Be very careful in how you live, how you walk. In other words, you look behind, you look around you, you look what's ahead of you. Be very careful how you live. And then he said this, not as unwise, but as wise. What's interesting is that Paul said that, hey, do the wise thing, right? Do the wise thing is better than just do the right thing. Do the wise thing is better, is way, way better than just do something that feels right. What's interesting, again, Paul associates this thing. There are people who are wise, who are careful, who are paying attention, right? He associates wise with careful. And then, on the contrast, on the comparison, he associates the unwise with the careless. So there are two type of people. There are a wise, paying attention, careful, and then there are another type of people, unwise, careless, and not paying attention. And let me repeat, Apostle Paul says this. The wise, the careful, the one who pay attention, this is what they do. They look behind them, meaning they are aware of the past experience that they have. They look around them, meaning that they are aware of the current situation in their life. And they look ahead of them, meaning that they have hope, they have dream. They're thinking about their future. That's the wise. That's the one that paying attention. That's the careful. On the opposite side, you have the careless, the unwise, who do whatever with whomever and hoping that they don't reap the consequences. Let's think about consequences later on. Hope that I don't get the consequences, right? And then he continues. I think it is very, very interesting. He says this, making the most of every opportunity. You know what Paul is saying is this, meaning that, hey, guys, the wise are aware that we are living in a time, meaning that our time is limited. We need to redeem our time. We need to make the most out of it. And then he gives us a very interesting phrase. This is what Apostle Paul said, because the days are evil. Because the days are evil. Do you know what that means, the days are evil? Here's what it means. If you and me, if we just pick up our life, pick up our feet, and just do what everybody else is doing, if we just go with the current, we go with the flow where everybody is going, we're going to end up in a place where we don't want to be in the future. If you and me, if we wake up every day, spend like everybody else is spending their money, date like everybody else is dating, do like what everybody else is doing, you and me, we will end up in the future where you don't want to be. And for this reason, and from here, this is where we got that question, what is the wise thing for me to do? Can you just say this together? Just say it really loud like you just have your third coffee this morning. Would that be okay? Right? 1, 2, 3. What is the wise thing for me to do? What is the wise thing? Do you know why this is so much better than what is the right thing to do? Because there are a lot of things that are not wrong. They're right? There are a lot of things that are completely legal. There are a lot of things that are not against the law. But here's the question. Is it the wise thing for you to do? You start getting this, right? There are a lot of things around us that is completely okay for you to do. And it's right, it's not wrong, it's not against the law. It is legal. But the question is it the wise thing for you to do? This is why Apostle Paul says this. I have the right to do anything, you say, but not everything is beneficial. I have the right to do anything, but not everything is constructive. That's what he said. Now, today I want to I want to share with you, as you ask this question, what is the wise thing for me to do? I want you to factor in three things, okay, as you ask this question. And again, if you ask this question as often as you can, before you make a decision, this is just going to be a powerful thing. You're going to start seeing something change in your life. I want you to factor in three things. Now, before I continue, I just want to say this. I think you already know this, but I just want to make sure that I don't have any authority to tell you how you live your life, okay? I'm just a pastor. I'm here to share what I think, right? So I don't have the right to tell you what to do with your life. I don't have the right to tell you what to do with your money, with everything. So I'm just sharing this thing in this morning, right? So I hope you know that, right? So here's the three things that I want you to factor in as we ask this question. I want you to factor in your past. I want you to factor in your present circumstances, and I want you to factor in your future. So I'm going to give you a lot of example. You're going to feel like this morning that I'm poking you, right? I might not be your favorite pastor anymore after today, right? But let's talk about the past for a moment, right? Because of my past experience, in light of my past experience, what is the wise thing for me to do? I'll give you an example. Like I share with you many times, I was addicted with pornography for over 20 years, right? Now for me, the wise thing for me to do is this. If somebody send me a video and I have no idea what that video is, I'm not going to open it. If I scroll down my social media and then I come across an account where there's a lot of swimsuit model, right, half-naked women, I'm not even going near that. Because all of that will trigger me, will bring me back to the past. Is it illegal? Is it against the law for you to look at that? Of course not. But that's just the wise thing to do for me based on my past experience. Right? Now, I don't know, for some of you, you have a history with alcohol. And your friends have a birthday party at this one house or at this one bar, right? Is it illegal for you to go to a birthday party at the bar? No, unless you are underage, right? But because of your past, the question is it wise for you to do or to go? Are you with me, church? Yeah? Some of us, we have a history with gambling addiction. And you are trying to go to vacation. You are trying to go on your honeymoon. Right? There are many destinations that you can go to, but is it wise for you to go to Vegas or Atlantic City? For me, I don't have a past in gambling. I can just bring my $500. I can play, I can win, I can lose tomorrow. I don't have the desire to go back because I don't have past. You start getting what I'm talking about, right? So based on your past experience, your past is different than my past. What's okay for me might not be okay for you. What's okay for you might not be okay for me. What is the wise thing to do? Is it wrong? Is it illegal for you to go to Vegas? Of course not, right? How many of you heard this phrase right here? History repeats itself. Yeah, you heard that phrase before? Do you know why? Because people don't ask this question. What is the wise thing to do for me based on my past experience? Or this is what they do. They are aware of this question, but this is what we say. I'll handle it this time. This time is going to be different. You heard that before? Or you said it before? Right? I'm not going to do what I did last time. Right? This time it's going to be different result. Right? But here's my question. What happened last time when you reply his text or her text? What happened last time when you decided to answer that phone call? What happened the last time when you decided to go, to stay overnight? I don't know the answer. In light of my past experience, what is the wise thing for me to do? The second thing that you and me should factor in is our present situation. The present circumstances, right? What is the wise thing for me to do based on what's going on right now in my life? Now, this is why you guys, teenagers, aren't you tired of of hearing your parents say this? Finish school first. Graduate first, right? But you have to understand, they know, this is what they're thinking. Hey, it's not illegal to have a boyfriend. It is not against the law. It is not wrong to have a girlfriend, right? But what they are saying is this: what is the wise thing to do for you right now based on your present circumstances? Right? This is your last year in college. This is your last year in high school. Don't mess it up. Just focus on that. It is not wrong for you to start dating, but what is the wise thing for you to do in the current circumstances? I don't know about you, but for me, this is what I struggle the most. I have a lot of friends who are pastors. They're pastoring churches in different states, different countries, right? And what they keep asking me is, hey, Sam, when are you going to come over, man? You know, stop by and preach at our church, right? And what I struggle the most is this, that, hey, I really want to, but I have to limit the amount of time where I travel. Why? Because I feel like the wise thing for me to do right now is be around my kids as much as possible. They are growing up so fast, man. I want to invest my life in them. I don't want to miss anything important in their life, right? What I even struggle more is this: when I'm behind with my work, which is like every week I'm behind. And at night, they come home, and I'm in front of a computer catching up with my work, and they are behind me running around, laughing, playing, right? Man, there's something inside of me like, why am I doing this? Why am I in front of my laptop? And sometimes I'm just like, I close it, because I cannot hold it anymore. I cannot handle it anymore, that struggle inside of me, right? I feel like that's the wise thing to do. I learned many, many years ago, and I hope you will remember this. Saying no today, it doesn't mean that you say no forever. Saying no today, it doesn't mean that you say no forever. If God is willing, when my kids grow up, if I live long enough, they get out of the house, they leave the house, I have all the time to do all of that, to accept those invitations, to go to different churches and that, and those kind of things. In the same way, again, let me just poke around here. Some of you guys just got married. Things are new, right? I know when you were single, you used to do that with your friends. I know when you were single, you used to spend hours and hours and hours. We're still in the present now. We used to hours and hours in front of the laptop, in front of the computer, in front of the TV, right? But things are new now. Based on your current circumstances, is it wrong? Is it bad? You spend hours in front? No. But what is the wise thing to do? That's the question that we're asking. Some of us, I don't know, just have a baby, just have a second baby, just have a third baby. The opportunity come knocking at your door. Is it wrong for you that you want to take that opportunity? No, of course not. Is it illegal? Yes, some opportunities are illegal. But is it wrong? No. But that's not what we're asking. We're asking, what is the wise thing for you to do based on what's going on with you? Some of us just started a new job. Some of us just graduated from college with tens and thousands of dollars of student loan. Is it wrong for you to make a big purchase? Is it wrong for you to want something nice, to want something expensive? Of course not. It is completely legal. But the question is, based on your current circumstances, what is the wise thing to do? Saying no now doesn't mean say no forever, right? Now, for some of us, we just came out from a bad breakup. We just came out from a divorce. We are emotionally vulnerable. Is it wrong for us to want another relationship in our life? Of course not. And I'm sure God wants that for you. But the question is it wise for us to do it right away? Is it wise for us to have just jumping into from one relationship to another without having that gap for us to think and to clear up our heads? Right? What is the wise thing to do for me based on my past experience, based on what's going on in my life right now, and based on the future that I have, based on the hope that I have, based on the dream that I have in the future. Now, this is just common sense, right? If you have a vision for your life, if you want your future to be a certain way, to look like a certain way, right? Of course, it will determine what we do today, right? It makes sense, right? But here's the thing. If we don't ask this question, what is the wise thing for me to do in light of my future hopes and dream? This is what we're going to end up. We will trade our future for today. There's a preacher named, he also have started a university. His name is Bob Jones Jr. This is what he said. Don't sacrifice the permanent on the altar of immediate. What he's saying is this. Don't sacrifice your future. Do not trade your future because you want something now. Right? I mean, how many of us financially, right, trading our future for something that we want now? I gotta have it now. I gotta buy it now. And in the future, we are chained and we are binded with debt. Or maybe many of us, we just hanging around people who have no dreams and no hopes. They don't think about the future, right? All they think is like 2 weeks from now, I will get paid. That's as far as they think, right? For some people, we are trading what we want in the future in terms of our health, our relationship. I'm sure many of us who are old enough, who have children, right? You want to see your children grow up, be successful, have a nice job, getting married, and they have children, and you become your grandparents, right? That's what you want, right? But based on our future hopes and dream, we don't take care of our health today. We are trading our future for something that we want now. Now, this is definitely going to make you mad at me. Relationally, how many of us trading our future intimacy for today's pleasure? We are reckless with our sexuality, with the person that we are in relationship today that we know this is not going anywhere. Right? This relationship is not going anywhere. This person is not going to be with me in the future. But we're still messing around with it, right? And then in the future, when you meet someone that you really love, this person is going to be my wife for the rest of my life, is going to be my husband for the rest of my life. We wonder, why is it so hard for me to experience intimacy with this person, with my wife, with my husband? Well, because we have traded our future relationship and intimacy with the pleasure, with the today's pleasure. Are you still with me, church? What is the wise thing for me to do? Don't you wish that you and me ask this question so much sooner? This is why I love the fact that we have so many young people, so many people in high school today are here. What is the wise thing for me to do? Not what I can get by with, not what's the right thing, not what is it wrong, not is it against the law, is it illegal? What is the wise thing for me to do? Here's what I know about all of you guys. You guys are smart. You guys are smart people. It's not like you don't know this. You know this, right? But look, again, I don't have the right to tell you what to do with your life. I don't have any authority. But what's amazing about this question, what is the wise thing for me to do, is this. It's going to force me to be honest with ourselves. It's going to force us to be honest with ourselves. At least now you know when it's time for you to make a decision, when that invitation come, when that offer and opportunity come, at least now you know the question that you should ask. When I factor in my past, my current situation, my future hopes and dream, what is the wise thing for me to do? And when you ask that, you just discover something about yourself. And as you ask that question and you know the answer, but we chose not to do it, at least that's what we discover something about ourselves, right? Oh, I'm the type of person who know what the wise thing to do, but I chose not to do it. Now, with that being said, right, when something happened, I cannot blame my parents anymore. When something happened, I cannot blame my spouse, my husband, my wife. I cannot blame my friends. I cannot blame my coworker because I know what to do, but I chose not to do it. I cannot blame the economy system, the political system, because he is the president, because she is the president. We cannot do that anymore because we know what's the wise thing to do, and we chose not to do it. And we cannot say this, guys. All guys are the same. All girls are the same. Isn't it true? This is me included, right? By the way, everything that we talk about is me included. When we look back into our worst decision that we ever made, very few of us said this. I don't know how I got myself into this. We know, right? We look back and we try to remember the worst decision that we made, and we said, like, I don't know how I got we know what we got ourselves into. They said that the distance between the city of New York to Los Angeles from one end of the country to the other end of the country there is about 3,000 miles. Now, those of you good in math, right, here's a quiz for you. If it takes 2,000 steps to cover 1 mile, how many steps to cover 3,000 miles? 6 million steps, right? 6 million steps. That's a lot of steps. That is so far. That's what we're thinking. How do we get from one point to another point? Well, the answer is this. You just start walking. You just take one foot in front of the other foot. You put one foot in front of the other foot. And before you know it, you get there. In the same way, many of us, again, ask this question, how do I get here? How do I get to this point in my life? How do I get myself into this mess? Well, the answer is this. A series of our unwise decision after unwise decision after unwise decision. A series of one small unwise decision, one small step of unwise decision, and that's how we get into this mess. The answer is it's a series of when people trying to give you advice, no. Right? You're right. But we don't do anything about it. That's how we get there. Right? It's a series of like, man, no one gets me. No one really know him like I know him. No one really know her like I know her. Right? Here's what I want to end it for you. See, nobody is planning. Here's what I know 100% for sure. Nobody is planning to screw up their life. Nobody. Nobody's planning to mess up their life. When they get married, nobody says, I want to end up in divorce in 10 years. Nobody say that, right? But people just don't plan not to. And here's how you not to messed up our life. This is what the book of Proverbs says. A prudent person foresees danger and takes precaution. The simpleton goes blindly on and suffers the consequences. Can I invite the musician to come forward? The prudent person foresees danger and takes precautions. The simpleton goes blindly and suffers the consequences. Hey, the prudent person, they know they are walking toward the wrong direction, and they make a decision to change the direction. The prudent person see that, man, if I keep going, man, this is going to be a mess. They stop and they turn and they make other decisions. But in comparison, there's a simpleton. There's the simple person. The simple type of person. They know they're going the wrong way. They know that this is going to be a mess if I keep doing it. And this is what we do. I just pray that I don't get the consequences. But we keep walking in that direction. Come on, I want to leave you with this. If you know there's a God who loves you, If you know there's a God who actually allow us to call him our heavenly Father, don't you think that he wants you to make a great decision, a wise decision in your life? If there's a God who's willing to come down here and to go through all of that suffering, to die on the cross for you and me, don't you think that he wants you to do well in life? Right? Here's what I want to tell you. Aren't you glad that Jesus didn't just ask what is the right thing to do? Because if Jesus asked what is the right thing to do, this is what's going to happen. As he was about to be crucified, he said that, man, all of us are not worthy. Right? Because the right thing is that, hey, you got to be worthy first, and then I'll forgive your sin. You got to clean up your act first, then I'll forgive your sin. Aren't you glad that Jesus didn't do that? But Jesus, what is the wise thing for him to do? The Bible says, while we are still sinners, he died for us. Can I invite all of you guys to stand up? And we're just going to sing this one last song. After that, I'm going to pray for you.